Welcome back to the Muddy Boots pod. All the muddy studders are ready for another episode. Today we've got a big guest, special guest. He's a player for 17 years, a referee for seven. The young Mike Dean joins us in the Muddy Boots podcast. Welcome, Ben Chance.
Hello, chaps. It's an absolute honour to be
Buzzing.
invited onto this podcast today.
So we'll kick things off straight away with a question.
All
So
right,
how did you get
throw me
into
into the deep
refereeing?
end.
Oh,
Well,
How did
essentially, I was 14 years old, and that's how old you can be to start refing. And my dad said, "Ben, do you want to make a bit of money?" I said, "Go on then, Stuart." So just got on to local referee course down at Brookfield School over 3 days in one of the half terms at school, and then yeah, you just that was the first like what is it training kind of thing to become a qualified ref. But so yeah, just as simple as that. Just a 3 day little course, a bit of practical on the Astro at Brookfield, and
so
then
good.
yeah, pretty easy really.
Nice.
and then
You can't really fail it. If you turn up for 3 days in a row, you can't fail that first qualifying course.
oh really? What? Why is it just like so on the qualifying course? What are you sort of doing? Are you just sort of like I don't know.
Just like basic introduction. So it was quite a while ago now, but I can remember doing some like referee positional work. So like 11 aside, so you've always got to be on the opposite side to your lino, so you've got as much coverage as possible, which is nice and clever. And then we did some lino work, like the different like flag positions for different offside meanings, which is I
A
don't think a
proper
lot of people know that.
Oh, I don't know that. Go into the different offside meanings if you can remember that.
So so if you do it up high, that means they're offside on the far side. If it's in the middle of the pitch, then down low, that's your near side offside.
I never
From
knew.
what I
I never
I
knew.
had no idea
I
that.
never knew that. There you go. There's the insight.
Neither. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so when you see your favourite linesman doing a different kind of flag, now you'll know why.
I know why. Elliot, hit in with your question. It's a big one.
So, uh, have you got like a favorite referee, a referee that you aspire to be like in the world?
Um,
Any of them?
well, I'm a massive Chesterfield fan, and we're in League Two, so the
Yeah.
quality of referee in that league is absolutely horrific. So none of them. But I remember vividly watching a TikTok about Jared Gillett for his last game in Australia,
I saw
and
that
he
one.
and he was like mic'd up, and I thought the way he handled himself and was on the pitch, I thought that was quite impressive. But no, I think a lot of the referees are just as rubbish as each other at the minute, to be fair.
Sure.
And
Hmm.
I can't, I'm not on it. I'll be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of top flight football because I can't stand it. So I don't just, I can't align with it.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's fair. It's a good shout though.
Wilcock.
Yeah, yeah. Now, like, since you've been like refereeing and that, like, do you feel different when you watch referees? You say like you just said they're all pretty shit, but like, is that because you know the rules, so you feel like you can do a better job, or like, are you less
Just
harsh?
no, I'm probably even more harsh because it's like you can see from the stand or see on the TV that they're blatantly making a massive error, like, and it's just so frustrating to watch because like obviously I'm not a high level referee whatsoever. I just ref locally, but I look at it when I'm watching. I'm like, how have you missed that? I could make that decision. Obviously, it's a lot easier to stay safe from the stands or from your sofa kind of thing, but it's just that how are you getting this wrong consistently?
Yeah.
You say about, big Ches fan. Um,
Yeah, massive.
we're going to throw you into a dream scenario now, or nightmare
Oh,
scenario. You're refing
all
Ches.
right.
Would you be able to, do you think, keep it completely like unbiased and call it down the middle, or would you throw a few decisions Ches's way? Like, how do you
That's
reckon
the
you
thing.
get into that mindset?
That's the thing. When you actually become like a professional referee, you have to declare what team you support, so you can't ref their games. But on the off chance that I made it professional, I'd lie about the team I supported, and then just throw them a few. But yeah, no, I'd struggle because obviously I've been a Chesterfield fan since I can remember. So like, yeah, obviously like from the stands as well, you're going to be biased towards your team as well when the referee's making some decisions. So that probably does cloud my judgment a little bit. But I remember once I went to Carlisle like just a neutral game in Carlisle for no reason, like sat around all the home fans, and you can hear them shouting the ref for stuff. It's like, because you're a neutral and you have no affiliation to either club, you're like, is that what I sound like? You sound like an absolute idiot calling for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I think we're all guilty of doing it, aren't you? When we're watching the team we support, and it's like,
Definitely.
but yeah. So I think I would be biased, but obviously I wouldn't be able to do it if I made it professional.
Yeah, fair.
Mm, no. So coming back to, you said you were a player for a while as well. Do you used to have any like pre-match rituals? Do you have any as a referee, or did you have any as a player? Like any superstitions or rituals before a game?
No, but before every game, I always had to have a wee before I left the changing rooms. Always.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I did
That's a
consistently.
ritual. Oh, yeah.
Don't
Yeah, a
worry
bit,
about that.
yeah.
Maybe the only other thing I do consistently is take the socks, but that's not a ritual. Like, I don't do it in any specific order. But no, I'm always one of the last to leave, and I always have to use the toilet before I go. Just like, I don't know what it does. It just kind of clears my mind. But
Yeah.
because that's
Do
the
you
last
get,
thing you want to do when I'm sliding in for a tackle, and then I get up and I'm like, oh, I'm busting foot Lou. You don't want that.
yeah, that's true, yeah. Before like a big game as a ref or as a player, do you get really nervous? Like, which one would you get more nervous for, playing or refereeing?
It's completely different kind of thing, isn't it? Because like when you're playing, there's stakes. Well, for a personal level, I think the stakes are higher when you're playing because you want to win, you want to do well. But like a referee, it can go badly really quickly. So first 2 minutes you make a mistake, and then you're like, it's playing on your mind. Oh, do I have to give this team another one to even it out, kind of thing? And it's like, it probably is. As a referee, you're in control of the game, aren't you? The whole game, so it is probably more nerve wracking for that. So as a player, you can only control what you do.
Do you
So,
like ever find maybe you might, I don't like, you ref like you said at a local level, maybe more younger, but you've got like parents and stuff that are always maybe giving you a bit of verbal, yeah, a bit of verbal. Do you find, how do you sort of deal with that stick and maybe somewhat abuse? And do you find it maybe harder on your mental health being a referee if you're getting that sort of stick, or are you quite straight with it and it doesn't really bother you?
Thing is now, because I've been doing it for 7 years, I'm quite happy in what I'm doing. So if people give me a bit of verbal, I'll give it back.
Yeah.
Um, but when like I first started when I was 14, if a parent said anything to me, like it just does knock your confidence, and that's another issue with refereeing. You see local areas now like Derbyshire, and we are having such a shortage of referees, and there's only one reason for that, and it's because of the grief that you get. And it's just, why would I at 14 think, oh yeah, I'll wake up at 7 o'clock today and referee a game just to get shouted at for 90 minutes?
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But now, so I'm 21, I've been doing it for a while. There was a case last season. It must have been like an under nines game, and the parents, one of this parent, were giving it big an all game. So we were like, and but then I started getting a bit like, right, I'm not giving your kid any fouls now, and his kid must have got fouled about 2 or 3 times, and I didn't give a free kick once. Like, it probably was a foul, but a bit soft as well. And then he said, "Ref, what are you doing?" I was like, "Do you think you can do a better job than me?" He was like, "Yeah, I will." I said, "There you go, there's whistle." And then
oh.
he was like, "No, no, I don't actually want a ref." And then he carried
But
on, and then I had to send him off, sent him to the car. Said, but
Take
like, but the thing is, like, as a 14-year-old referee, who's got the bollocks to say that to a grown adult? Like, when they're giving you a bit of grief, it's just completely different now. I'm older.
Hmm. Let's talk about the money side then. How much do you get paid per game as a referee?
Well, it depends obviously what like age you're reffing, because I know you boys play Sunday League 90 minutes adults, don't you? So that's like, it can be anywhere between like 40, 50 quid for that. But so I focused when I was reffing on like mini soccer, and like that was when I was 14. That was 3 hours of work for 40 quid each week, and like as a 14-year-old being on £13 an hour essentially, it is bang on. And obviously the working with Derbyshire FA now, it's like it's gone up again. Obviously, cost of living, so it has gone up a little bit. But yeah, it is decent money. And for me, like, it's football. Football's like consumes me. So it's like not work. I get, yeah, it's a bit annoying waking up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning to go and do it. But when you're there for 3 hours. You still got the rest of your day. It's just a little bit of spending.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you wanted to make a bit more money, yeah, have you ever like thought about going pro as a ref? Like, do you actually know the way into like the professional refereeing world? Like, is there a clear path or?
It's fairly clear, yeah. So you just keep because obviously you're with your county, so I'm with Derbyshire, and it's just continuously doing the courses like leveling up. So referee levels don't go from one to like say seven; it goes from seven to one. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have to work your way up it. So there is
Right.
like an easy like visual path to progress, but it's just actually doing it. And I have considered it quite a few times. It's like, can I be bothered? It's going to take me years.
Mm.
They
Uh,
got paid all right though, them at the top. It's like
Oh,
100K for them.
they get that as a base salary, and then they get game pay as well. And it's like it's just ridiculous money how much they can get. And realistically, referees at the top level now they don't have to do much because they've got that VAR, which is another whole story. But
Yeah, they do get dogs abuse, so.
well, they need to stop making wrong decisions, don't they?
Do you think, you know how we're talking now on a professional side about referees and how much they get paid? Is there any like insight you can give us on like we know obviously you're at the start of the refereeing journey, suppose like 7 years in, still at the start. It's like it's a difficult ladder. When do you think a referee would retire, sort of thing? Like
Oh,
it's a
I
difficult
think
question.
it's all like it
Reference.
depends because you can referee until your legs give up, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it wouldn't. So it's like you see, like obviously at a local level. When I were younger, we were getting refereed by 60, 70-year-olds every week. Obviously, they're not having to run the full length of a full size pitch, but I don't see like a stopping point. It's either when you get rubbish, like, or when your legs go, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. So did you prefer being a referee or a player?
Oh,
So far, like, what would you say you prefer more?
definitely play. I just like a lot. I think referee is good, but just playing is so much better for me. But both are rewarding in different ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know, as a player, you get like an adrenaline rush, like if you score a goal or like you get like a big tackle. As a ref, what gives you an adrenaline rush?
Great question.
Um, when it's cold, probably blowing the full time whistle. But there's
Well,
nothing there's nothing like in refereeing for me that's comparable to the adrenaline rush you get as a player. It's like when you've made like when there's like a last deflection that's just took a nick and it's gone out and people don't think you've seen it and then you've seen it. That's probably as good as it gets.
yeah.
But there's
I guess
nothing like
either way, people are going to be annoyed, so you can't really like even if it's a good call, you can't really get anything, can you?
yeah, exactly. It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
Maybe something that might give you like maybe more of a rush or more enjoyment out of it. Do you reckon referees every year you get a new kit? Would you love to see a referee different kit? 'Cause you get the black and then some refs have purple, don't they, and yellow.
Yeah, look, at that high level, I bet it's unreal because
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. There's a referee that's on TikTok and he shows like through all his kits. He's got a nice little blue number and an orange one, and it's like imagine getting to pick which one you wear compared like with what the other teams wear. And I bet that would be quite good. But good thing about referee, I'm a sucker for a black boot,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolute sucker for a black boot, and you have to wear them, so it's
Yeah.
just brilliant.
What would be your favorite if you could pick out of them, the black, the yellow, or the purple? Which one would you throw yourself in if you could?
Oh, oh, that's a good question because I think the yellow is going to be a miss because I will just look a bit like a highlighter running around that pitch. But I think purple could be all right. I think I could try a purple kit,
Look
but like
authoritative.
I say, if I'm running around like a local game in a purple kit, I just look like a bit of an idiot, don't I? Like I'm like when you turn up to a Sunday League game at rest warming up.
Well, you see some of them with like all EA Sports and Premier League badges on the red king. Like, what's
I've
good?
been seeing them on Vintage, you know, they're selling the shirts on Vintage, all three of them.
But that's the thing, like for local referees that you can tell have never refed at a good level, they've gone out and either bought that or got the things printed on it. And it's like, oh, come on.
It's pretty meta. I do like it.
Carried on with all the kit talk. It's a bit of a controversial one, but as a referee, do you feel like you need to wear shin pads? Like, do you often just think before a game, like, oh, is there much point in wearing these? Like, do you ever
As a
get into
player,
collisions with people where you think, as a referee, do you
oh,
wear shin pads or do you not
absolutely
bother?
not. That's one of
No.
the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, to be fair. I'm sure
I've,
some
I've
refs
seen
do it,
referees
but
wear shin pads.
I know I'm
No.
not doubting that they do, but if
Seen it.
as a referee, you need to be in a position where you're not interfering with a game. If you can't do that for 90 minutes, then you need to give it up. You need to call it a day.
Or whack
No.
the pads on.
That well, personally, I've never done that, but I can imagine there is some refs out there that do, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
I feel like
come
we
on.
have them in our games. Yeah,
Get the
definitely.
ankle protectors on as well, just in case.
That just explains the Chesterfield League down to the T, though, doesn't it?
Uh,
Referees wearing shin pads.
What do you reckon as a referee is the most important tool for like a ref? Like the voice, the whistle, like the fitness. What do you think it is?
Oh, you can't underestimate the fitness of having to be a ref. Like 90 minutes, full size pitch. If you're doing it properly, like up and down, that is going to take some strain. But yeah, the whistle's important, but it's got to be the communication you've got with the players. Because if say I'm refing you and I'm just blowing the whistle, you're going to be like, oh, why is he giving that foul kind of thing? But if I can go over, explain what I've seen, and then like not get friendly, but have that kind of positive relationship where we're comfortable talking to each other about decisions we've made. It just makes the game run a lot smoother because you feel like you've got that relationship with the ref to question him without him like getting annoyed at you, kind of thing.
You know, on the fitness side, Grit, do you actually if you're gonna ref a game and that, do you actually like have to like make sure you've been running and that so you can
I
actually
think
keep.
at the high level, 100% because say you're running for 90 minutes, so say a cup game as well, it can go to 120,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it is just up and down. So you're gonna have to they will have to train quite heavily to do it, and I think it is quite rigorous what they do. Some of the refs to stay in shape, but I'm not like that, so I don't have to ref at that level. But I imagine if I went there, I would obviously try and do it because you see a ref blowing out his arse after 5 minutes, you're like, oh, it just
Yeah.
sets the tone for the game, and it's going to be shocking because he can't keep up with play.
So he's just gonna give loads of fouls and that, yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like going back to Chesterfield, you see some of the refs and they're so out of shape, like they can't keep up with the game, so they just miss everything.
Mm. As like a ref, I don't know if you've got any big games coming up yourself that you know about that you're refing. How would they, so the Derbyshire FA, how would they pick, or what would you have to do for them to pick you, or is it like a random allocated ref for say like a semi-final or the final of like a cup?
I, I think it goes on like games that you've ref this year. So like, I'm not gonna get like the County Cup final that's at Chesterfield Stadium, like Bucks and Alfred. And it might have been like last week. It's gonna go to someone that is a higher level. So like it's all leveled out. Like the football pyramid is leveled out with the level of referee you get. So I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but say like a level 4 referee can ref up to like the the Northern Premier League or something like that level of football. And before they can progress to ref a higher league, they've got to do another course kind of thing. So it's when they do like local tournaments, they always try to get a Derbyshire ref in kind of thing to keep it local, but it's obviously got to correlate with that standard of referee.
It's almost
Mm.
like the coaching badges and stuff like that then. So similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's the roundup questions now, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, yeah. Final question from myself. If you could choose to add a new rule or take one away from football, what do you think it would be? Since you're a referee,
I
like you
I hate time
can.
wasted. It
Hmm.
boils my blood. Like so, I know it's going to sound very American, but at the top level, you've got all this technology. Stop the time when the ball goes out. Just stop
Yeah.
it. It'll stop your
Hmm.
teams from time wasting straight away.
Yeah.
And it just like so. Say you've got 10 minutes added on time. Player goes down for 3 minutes. When do you ever see a ref add another 3 minutes on?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you not think that's part of the game though? I quite like that. Like, if a team's up in a big game and they start like just taking the piss, like kicking it out or going down injured or something, I like that.
Yeah, but that's fine. Do that, but then you people have got to say, So we're in 94 minutes at a time. You've got 4 minutes added on, but someone's been down for 3 minutes. You don't blow
Yeah,
the whistle then. You've not played the 4 minutes of added time.
yeah, I guess.
And that's what really frustrates me when I'm watching football, like especially when it's your team. Say it's like 2-2 and you're going for the winner, like you're on the attack, and then they start time wasting and like, but we've not played the added time. It really frustrates me. So that's what I'd do if I could. Just it just annoys me to watch. I think that's coming more from a fan than a referee's point of view, though.
As a ref, do
Mm.
you stop it every time it like someone goes down? Yeah.
No, no,
No. Oh,
I don't get paid enough for that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like you can tell the like a player's really injured or it's going to take at least 30 seconds. But if it's like 10, 20 seconds, it's all right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you got any just to round off? Have you got any like big games coming up that you're reffing, or any sort of plans in mind for reffing for in season's winding up now, sort of thing? And what sort of plans have you
Yeah,
got?
well, not actually refereeing, but tomorrow I'm going to be running the line at the Impact Arena, Alfreton Town for some of the cup finals, some of the youth ones. I think it'll be under 13s, 14s, 15s, and 16s all tomorrow. So that's always good. I did that last year, and it's always a bit of a laugh
Yeah, yeah.
doing it there. So it's like I don't linesman very often, so it's like first time a linesman in a year. It's for a cup final, and you're like, bloody hell, you can't make any mistakes here.
You
But
find it more
no,
like enjoyable doing the linesman or the refereeing? Like, is that like almost like in the refereeing world? Is that like a nicer job sort of thing?
it completely depends because it's a nice change, when you referee every weekend and then like you get to linesman at a cup final at a proper stadium. It's nice and there's less pressure on you in a sense because like you've got to get the offsides right. And that's quite easy realistically. But then the man in the middle tomorrow is William Raisin, so there's going
Oh,
to be a level of controversy.
big up, Brazzo, big up. Nice one. I think that's everything, Chancey, mate. Yeah, bro. Thanks for being on, Wilcock. Your episode. I'll let you do your outro.
yeah. Cheers for coming on. That's
Thank you very much.
great,
Nice
but
little United retro number that as well.
we
United.
like it.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
right.
We'll be uploading on everywhere: YouTube, the Spotify, Captivate. All your usual podcast places. So check it out, Muddy Studs. We've been gone for a while, but we're back. We're back. Cheers, boys. Thank
Back in
you.
business.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
See you later.
Thank you.